having their $5.99 fiction book sale, and your girl can't pass up a good deal. I can only see a few of the books, but there's one book in particular that I've been wanting for a while, and now I finally have it. And that book is A Love Song for Ricky Wow by Tia Williams. I read The Perfect Find by Tia Williams like 4 or 5 years ago, and I enjoyed it. I gave it 4 stars. As for this book, I don't really know too much about it. What I do know is that it's a historical fiction. It also has some elements of magical realism. And can we take a moment for this gorgeous cover? This is beautiful. It says, 1 florist, 1 pianist, 1 love story, 100 years in the making. And that just excites me even more because I love me some flowers. I also love music, and I wish so bad that I could play the piano or the guitar. Up next, I have The Return of Ellie Black by Emiko Jean. A missing girl returns, but that isn't the end of the story. It's only the beginning. I haven't heard much about this book, but I remember seeing it as one of the book of the month picks, and that's what really attracted me to it when I seen it on Book Outlet. Next up, I have Wake, The Hidden History of Women-Led Slave Revolts, and this is by Rebecca Hall. And I picked this up because I've been really wanting to get into more non-fiction, but also historical fiction. I've just been really wanting to learn more about history, especially my history being a Black woman. So, oh my goodness. I had no idea what I was getting myself into, really. I didn't read the synopsis or anything. I just read the title and I said, that sounds like something I need to be reading. But it is a graphic novel. It is a graphic novel, y'all. Oh my goodness. That just made me so much more excited to read this book. Okay, next up is One Perfect Couple by Ruth Ware. I haven't read any of Ruth Ware's books, but honestly what attracted me to this book was the cover. And I do know this is one of her newer, if not her newest release thriller. It says, this high-tension thriller follows 5 couples trapped on a storm-swept island as a killer stalks among them. I think that sounds pretty interesting. I thought I ordered the paperback version of this book, but this is the hardback copy of Daisy Darker by Alice Feeney. I've only read one Alice Feeney book, Rock, Paper, Scissors, but it was one of my favorite thrillers. The million-copy best-selling queen of twists returns with a family reunion that leads to murder. Yikes. Next up, we have another thriller. Clearly, I'm a thriller girl, and this is Perfectly Nice Neighbors by Kia Abdullah. It says, you choose your house, not who lives next door. And then it says, when your dream home comes with nightmare neighbors, how far will you go to keep your family safe? What is that? Was it called Them? That series on Amazon Prime? It was so good. Yeah, it was called Them. That's what this is given based off those 2 sentences alone, which is pretty terrifying, if I must say. Next, I have Before I Let Go by, I don't have Before I Let Go. I have This Could Be Us by Kennedy Ryan. Before I Let Go is actually the first book in the series, and I do own that book, but I haven't read it yet. I've actually only read one book from Kennedy Ryan, and that was Long Shot, but that book in and of itself was enough for me to know that I will read anything she writes, so I am collecting them all. Up next, I have Crossed by Emily McIntyre, and this book is a part of a series of dark romances, but they're fairy tale retellings, so the villain gets the girl in these, and this one is about the Hunchback of Notre Dame. I actually read the first one on Kindle Unlimited, which was Hooked, which was a Peter Pan retelling, and it was nothing too crazy. It was just a fun, quick read, so I'm hoping this one gives me those same vibes. Next up is Five Survive by Holly Jackson, and she also wrote A Good Girl's Guide to Murder trilogy, which I read the first 2 books in that series. I really enjoyed the first one. The second one, not so much. So I'm not sure when or even if I will continue that series, but I know for a fact I'm gonna read this book before I do, because this says 8 hours, 6 friends, 5 survive. Basically, 6 friends go on a road trip and only 5 of them survive. What do you mean? What you mean? What happens? Who's the murderer? Was it one of the people in the friend group? A stranger? Like, what's going on? I need to know more. Up next is Salvage the Bones by Jasmine Ward, and I don't know nothing about this book, so let's find out. I know that it's a literary fiction though. It says, they heard it on the radio. A hurricane is coming, threatening the town of Boys Sauvage, Mississippi. Esh's hard-drinking father can feel it in his bones. Esh and her brothers are trying to help prepare, but there are other worries too. Skeeta is watching his prize pit bull, helpless as her new litter dies one by one. Randall, when not preoccupied with basketball, is busy looking after the youngest junior, and Esh, 15 and motherless among men, has just realized that she's pregnant. The children of this family have always been short on nurture, but they are fiercely loyal to one another. It is together that they will face the building storm and the day that will dawn after. Okay, so it's a lot going on in this book. It's a lot to unpack. I am excited. How many pages are we looking at? Oh, this book is under 300 pages. 258 pages. So I obviously have not read the book yet, but I will say that if she can unpack all of that in under 300 pages, why do y'all make 600 plus page books? Huh? Why? So if anyone's listening, any authors out there, maybe take some notes from Jasmine Ward and just get straight to the point, okay? I'm joking, but seriously, sometimes the books are just extremely long and it just be like, for what reason? You know what I mean? Moving on. I have Blockshot and Hookshot by Kennedy Ryan. I spoke about Longshot earlier, which is the first book in the Hoop series. These are the second and third books in that series, and I'm really excited to get into these because, like I said, I really did enjoy Longshot. It was definitely a heavy one, okay? Get your tissues ready, check your trigger warnings because it was heavy, and some parts definitely had me crying, but I loved it. I don't know what that says about me. Maybe it's because, you know, I've been through a lot and I've also seen a lot. Sometimes I have in my head like it's fiction, like, you know, it's fiction, so it's not real. But when you read a fiction that's so close to real life, even when it comes to trauma, like, you know, it's not your light and fluffy romance. There's things happening that happen in real life that can often be seen as like a taboo topic. To just see the representation in a book, sometimes it feels good. It feels real, even though it's fiction. I hope that makes sense. So after hearing a ton of positive reviews about literally every single S.A. Cosby book, like I haven't heard a single negative review yet, I finally got my hands on one of his books, and this is All the Sinners Bleed, which I know nothing about. I saw S.A. Cosby and I said add to cart. It says a black sheriff, a serial killer, a small town ready to combust. As cryptic as that is enough for me to feel like I want to read the book. I know it's a serial killer on the loose. There's more to read back here. I don't like reading that though. I feel like y'all be giving too much away. Next I have Mr. Fixer-Upper by Lucy Score, and I hate to say this. I hope I don't sound too ridiculous when I say I really don't have a desire to read this book. Why did I purchase it, you ask? So this is the second book in this is the first book. This is the first book in an interconnected standalone series with The Christmas Fix. And I actually purchased The Christmas Fix a couple Christmases ago, like around that time. And I was gonna read it, but I realized that there was a book that came before it. It's an interconnected standalone, so you can read it. You can read The Christmas Fix without reading this, but if you do read that book, then you'll just spoil things from this book. And the way my brain works, I just can't, whether it's interconnected or whether it's like a spin-off from one series to the next, I just can't do it. Like even with the Once Upon a Broken Heart trilogy and Caraval, I know a lot of people were skipping the Caraval trilogy and jumping right into Once Upon a Broken Heart. but I can't do that. I have to at least try to read Caraval first. Like, maybe I won't like the series, but I have to at least give it a try. Let's read the back and see, you know, maybe it'll spark some interest. It's a constant battle on set between this sexy, grumpy renovation reality star and his no-nonsense field producer. Paige St. James has zero time for temperamental talent, especially flannel-wearing Gannon King, who acts like being in front of the camera is the last thing he wants. Mr. Sex and the Tool Belt has made it his mission in life to get a rise out of her. But Paige is a master at locking down her temper. After all, they're on the road together, working long hours, renovating homes, and changing lives. When Gavin manages to find his way through the cracks in her professional facade, sparks fly, and hiding it from the camera is all but impossible. Okay, this actually doesn't sound too bad. Just because I really do enjoy renovation reality TV shows. So I'm curious to see how this will be displayed or like portrayed in a book. I think that'll be pretty fun. So we'll give this a try. And then if I don't like it, I'm not gonna read the Christmas Fics either. Okay, we'll just unhaul both of those. So next up is Clap When You Land by Elizabeth Acevedo. And I don't even know what genre this book is. The cover is what caught my eye, so that's why I grabbed it, but I have no idea what this is about. It says, my father was the one who always threw the get-togethers, and even in death, he brings us all home. Camino Rios lives through the summers when her father visits her in the Dominican Republic, but this time on the day when his plane is supposed to land, Camino arrives at the airport to see crowds of crying people. So this is gonna be a sad book. It keeps going, but I'm gonna stop there. It seems really long. Oh, yeah. This is written in poetry format. That is so cool. This haul is making me so happy because I keep getting so surprised. Like, I have a graphic novel and now I have a poetry. I just have so many different types of books in this haul. Like, this is definitely one of my favorite hauls ever. Like I said, I had no idea what this book was about, and it's been kind of like on my list for a minute on their website. But if I would have read the synopsis, I probably would have purchased it sooner because my father also passed away. So I feel like this would be, you know, although a sad read, it would be comforting, especially with it written in poetry style. Like, I feel like that's just gonna make it so much better. I get so excited for books, like. So last from Book Outlet is One of Us Knows by Alyssa Cole, and I've actually heard a lot of mixed reviews about this book. A lot of them have been leaning more negative, but I just had to see for myself because one of my favorite books is actually The Fury by Alex Michaelides. It's right there on my shelf. Yeah, that book, I've seen a ton of negative reviews about that book, way more negative than I did positive. And if I would have let those negative reviews deter me from reading the book, I literally would have missed out on a masterpiece. I love that book so much, and although I've always known this, everybody has different perspectives and we all like different things and dislike different things, you know. That's the moment where I really realized how subjective reading is, because just because someone hates a book does not mean that you cannot love that book. So anyways, this book is a riveting thriller about the new caretaker of a historic estate who finds herself trapped on an island with a murderer and the ghost of her past. So that sounds really interesting to me because The Fury was also a book where a murder happened on an island. Last is my book of the month book, and I hope this looks as stunning in person as it did online. The cover immediately caught my eye. Immediately. This is so cute and it's just so different. I hate the way it feels though. Something about the way this feels is giving me the ick, but look at this cover. I love this. I don't really know what this is about though. So it says, a sharp and funny debut novel about a young queer Muslim woman determined to marry rich. Okay, period. Get that coin, sis. Yeah, maybe I'll read a little more because I don't feel like that gave me enough. I don't feel like I'm excited to read this book. The unnamed narrator of Liquid has always believed herself to be the smartest person in the room. Oh, I didn't even tell y'all what this is called. So the name of this book is Liquid, a Love Story, and the author is Miriam Ramani. But back to the synopsis. So it says, And from an early age, she and her best friend Adam have turned up their noses at other people's riches. But as her career slows, she seems no closer to the middle class comfort promised to her by the prestige of her education and the successes of her immigrant parents. Jokingly, Adam suggests she just marry rich. Taking this challenge seriously, she makes a spreadsheet and outlines a goal, 100 dates with rich Angelenos, and a marriage proposal in hand by autumn. Oh, sis is on a mission. Okay, she said she needs to get married right now. So we made it to the end of the book haul. These are all 17 books I got. I am so excited for these books, and I know that I said in my last video that I will be doing my March TBR, but that didn't happen because I had a little accident. I cut my finger and I had to get it stitched up. So I just been trying to let that heal, and I decided to just do my April TBR instead, which is perfect because April is my birth month, so that just makes it all the more exciting. Also, leave me a comment and let me know if you've read any of these. What are your thoughts? Did you like it? Did you love it? Do I need to start it like tonight? I need to know.